This band came at the dawn of the 80s, and they captured those times so eloquently in their new wave radio hits. Strangely enough, their songs seem to be the perfect soundtrack for the times that we're living through right now. Up next, their lead singer and songwriter tells the story behind really the hit that may well be their signature song, and how that song was written as a way to clear his head and put away his fears. Story's coming up next on Professor of Rock. Hey music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. Make sure to join our community below by subscribing, hit the red button for daily content, the interviews straight from the legends, and also check out our Patreon for even more content. I'm wearing the Scott Bernard shirt today, guitarist for Kenny Loggins. I got to know him on the tour, great guy. Check out his music, and he's got actually a cool Toto band that he's doing. Check that out. I'll link to it below. One of the smartest guys that I've ever interviewed. It's got to be Cy Curnin of 80s highbrow new wave band, The Fixx. The guy is either a prophet or a wizard. The guy has written so many classics that lit up the day in the 80s. Seem to define our times now. After a promising first record with hits like Stand or Fall and Red Skies, band released the classic album Reach the Beach in May of '83 with MCA Records. It was their biggest album, went to number 8 on the album charts, which was really amazing for a new wave band not named Duran Duran in those times to do that. This album ended up going platinum, then it went double platinum, and it had one of the most iconic album covers of the 80s. Created by artist George Underwood, who would work with the Fixx on future albums. This was one of the first new wave records that I bought as a kid. Really cool. I love the cover. The biggest song from the album was the brilliant send-up of government politicians with One Thing Leads to Another. That hit number 4 on the Hot 100. But it was the lead single that really set up the band and the album for ultimate success, with a song that's become an 80s classic, having been used in our culture quite a lot since its release. From Breaking Bad to a big ad campaign for Toyota. More on that later. The song is famous for its stuttering staccato guitar riff that was supported by the deep bass that adds up to a haunting refrain. Every child of the 80s knows by heart. Cy Curnin wrote this song as a peaceful meditation, which he'll explain in the corresponding interview. Armed with an equally iconic music video that dropped in the middle of MTV's formative years. This was the perfect setup, single for the band, and it's become another signature song for the Fixx. Most would say One Thing Leads to Another, but Saved by Zero, I don't know, I think it's their signature song. In 2008, a version of the song was re-recorded for that Toyota ad campaign I was mentioning, when they advertised a 0% annual percentage rate promotion.
Favorite Toyota.
This actually caused some fan outrage that the band had sold out, that the song was being overplayed and ruined, and it wasn't recorded by the Fixx. In fact, there was a popular Facebook group that was going called Stop Playing Toyota's Saved by Zero commercial. Cy Curnin took it all in stride. He admitted that he'd rather be the one to sing the song. He enjoyed cashing the royalty checks and also the renewed interest in the song and the band. Can't blame him. He earned it. Up next, we get the real story behind the song from Cy Curnin. As we go into this interview, I want to recognize our amazing sponsor, Zenni Eyewear, the glasses that I always wear. Different pair. I've got like 15 pairs of these things. Add some style and some spark to your life by going to Zenni.com. Pick out a few pair. So much variety and style, so many features. Check it out today at Zenni.com. Here's Cy with the story. Saved by Zero. Tell me about that song, because that was a big hit. Number 20 on the pop charts, number 9 on the rock tracks.
The idea came about, our manager back then took me to see the Dalai Lama, who was speaking at the Commonwealth Institute in London. And I could feel this energy coming out of just, at first I thought this must be just the reverence everyone is paying him and, you know, the whole Buddhist Katan. But then I realized it was coming out of him. He had just this sense of peace. Mm-hmm. He wasn't saying much. And I just started to feel that getting to that point of zero is a place to start. Empty out your mind. He was saying, empty your mind to find happiness, empty the babble.
Yeah.
So that's where the lyric
Saved by
came
Zero.
from. Yeah. Long story short, I was really lucky to be invited to sing at his 80th birthday in Irvine, California, 2 years ago, to sing the same song.
Wow. I looked at it from the mathematical standpoint of zero and the symbolism of what zero means.
Yeah.
Like you said, empty out your mind. But also, I remember reading an interview where you were talking about East meeting West and that the Eastern ancient philosophies that people live as a daily code over that there for necessity. But tell me about that. I remember that was pretty cool.
I remember that in the Roman Empire, they had no count. They didn't count zero as a space in the chain of numbers. One was the first number in the plus line. But if you take that argument and then you go -1, what's in between 1 and -1? The debt, -1, and the plus profit is this zero. So that's why the Y2K thing came about, you know, the whole, we didn't count on the zero being in the right place.
Right.
It's a whole big hoop over nothing, but the East meets West was that emptying your mind is part of the Eastern philosophy.
Getting that calming place. And
whereas in the West, it seems to be you can conquer more people the more you know about them. Knowledge is a weapon, as opposed to the Buddhist philosophy of losing ego. Right? Yeah, losing, forgetting everything. So, you know, I wouldn't say it's a battle, but I find a lot of us in the West are probably filing more that way than they're filing to because our own beliefs seem to not have survived the time as well as theirs.
Which makes sense when you say maybe someday, right?
Yeah, maybe's as good as it gets.
Maybe someday.
But I love how when you say that and then the chorus comes in. Chorus is subtle because you there's a little bit of angst when you say maybe someday, a little frustration. Then the chorus comes in, saved by, very subtle. You know?
Yeah.
So it's very much a thinking man song. And I love the video because that was an homage to Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Which one of the greatest films of all time. Tell me about, did you have any part in the treatment in that? Or?
Well, we were so busy that the director guy, Brian Grant, came up and said, my favorite movie is Citizen Kane. And I said, so is mine. And he says, I'm thinking we could do this, or we could have you, the starving artist and trading off your art for cash. And I was like, yeah, that works good. In the beginning, I was thinking I was going to shave my head and stand there with the bowl and do all that, try and practice my full lotus. But I think in hindsight, he took us into a better place that was, again, interpretation is what makes a song skip across time longer. And the fact that one art form can take you in another direction and then place the song over that gives birth to another interpretation. That's better that way. I think it's lasted longer.
There's no question. I think that innocence, when I watch Citizen Kane, you think about all the things he was going through, some of the stuff that we've just talked about people and their ego, and at the end, Rosebud, like, what does that mean? Rosebud. And it's like the same thing as innocence, going back to that's what meant something, and the same thing with Saved by Zero, that you're trying to find that place, that happiness, that joy, which is just...
Right, very close by. And you're running around, losing yourself.
Be here now in the moment.
Exactly. The funniest thing about the video of all was like the guy, Brian Grant, had a very successful period there. Yeah. So he kept seeing the same extras in other people's videos. I was like, dude, I don't know if I milked that guy there. He's like, he was in like 6 different videos.
Also was using the 4th season of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, during the car wash. other people were telling me, hey, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
One of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Awesome. Brilliant writing.
What I love so much about the Fixx is that you would hear synth pop, bands like Depeche Mode, Erasure, and things like that came after. They were just synth pop. Then you'd hear a band like U2 that was guitar. But there were a few bands, you and maybe The Cure, that could meld those two sounds together so well.
Yeah. I was like, you know, out of all the songs I've written, I think that's the one that's taken care of me the most. It's had a lot of meanings to different people, but, you know, stage door meanings. Does this song mean that? Yeah. Does this song mean that? Yeah.
It means whatever it means to that person,
you want,
right?
It means whatever that space is. And, you know, for me, it's kind of a truism that has become like a mantra. And I'm lucky that it's been melded into a song that's bounced through like a bubble through time.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Leave us a comment about the Fixx. This album reached the beach and this enlightening song below. Let's have a good discussion. Share your memories of it. If you like our content, we ask you to join our community by subscribing to this channel below. Also, you can become an honorary patron to help us keep this music alive. That's below. Till next time, 3 chords and the truth.